Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy JC in the house. Everyday Thoughts. Got a special guest with me, Mario. Trying to bring him on. Having technical difficulties at the moment, but okay, here he is, right here. Around your boy JC in the house. What's popping, everybody?
What's going on, brother?
What's good? We good? Connection
I
good?
think we good. I think we
All right,
good.
man. What's good with you, brother? How you been?
Been good,
And just
man. Hey, listen, man. I got great news, man. Exciting news. Just had a baby girl, Nova, yesterday. So I'm very excited, man. I'm up in the hospital room right now. She's actually getting some more some blood drawn or whatever. But just good stuff, man. What you been up to?
Oh, nothing, man. Just chilling. Just trying to put out some good content. I've been seeing you do your thing on YouTube, and congrats for the brand new baby girl. I'm
No
proud of
doubt,
you.
man. Appreciate it.
I'm proud of you, fam. And what we're gonna talk about today is black children need protection. And
No doubt.
you know, and my thoughts are, I'll lead it off this time. You know, I feel
Uh-oh.
like,
Uh-oh.
uh
Drum
oh, uh
roll.
oh.
Drum roll.
I'm gonna take the lead. I'm gonna take the lead. I'm gonna take the lead.
All right.
I'm gonna try
All
to
right.
run this thing. Okay, but I feel like black children need to be protected, and there's too many cases where they're being raped, they're being harmed, they're being abused. Whether it's family members, whether it's
Yeah.
it could be coworkers, it could be friends, and we gotta do a better job with protecting our young men and young boys. And we got to make sure that they feel safe and secure at all times. I feel a lot of times we do a poor job as far as allowing certain people to come in and out of their lives. And we have to manage the situations better as far as knowing who's babysitting them, who they're going to school, who's tutoring them, who's teaching them in classes,
Yeah.
who they're hanging out as far as their friends, principals, teachers. You gotta self-evaluate everybody who they come in contact with. We can't just assume everybody has their best interest because not everybody has their best interest. You know.
No doubt.
So what's your thoughts though?
Um, First of all, I think
Oh
you
no, no. Oh no, I was saying no. Go on, yeah, yeah. Go on and introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what it is, you should know who it is. It's Mr. KTU 101. I'm definitely always humble when I get a chance to come on Big Brother's platform to talk to you guys about whatever the topic the topic is. And today I feel like this is a topic, especially with the birth of new children, with the whole shenanigans with the Art Kelly situation. I think this is a perfect topic to have right now. So my thoughts on black children needing protection. Uh, I think all children, you know what I'm saying? I think this is definitely awareness for all children, but we're going to specify black children for right now. So if you're just tuning in right now, please share. Let's have this grown up conversation or whatever case may be. Um, I really feel like this is a situation that it didn't just start. This epidemic of children not only being molested but neglected, and I'm gonna break that down for you. Molested, like you said, having strange people come in the house, whether it's males or females or family members come in the home and do things to children, and they don't feel comfortable speaking out, or you as a parent or as the adult figure in the house, you don't make it comfortable for children to come to you. So I'm hoping today with this conversation we can have that conversation that makes people think to be more aware of it. But I definitely think it's an issue. I think it's an epidemic that's been going on for a while, and I think it's come full circle based on the fact of the people involved, and of course social media uh, with that.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah, like I said, I want to start with the boys, the black boys, what they're dealing
Okay.
with internally. It's a lot of pride, it's a lot of ego that comes into a lot of boys as far as them being touched. Because not a lot of men or a lot of boys
Mhm.
like to tell, "Oh, somebody touched me," or somebody molested me, or somebody's doing something I don't feel appropriate. And then a lot of times that happens to us, and we internalize it a lot, and we end up um, growing up and being abuser to another woman or molesting other black babies because of something that happened to our own childhood that we can never um, come out to the light. You know.
You know what? That's a great point, brother. Chris Walker said R. Kelly is a distraction. You know what? I don't think R. Kelly is a distraction. I did think that, but I think R. Kelly is a reaction to things that's been going on that we've been turning a blind eye to. And now what we've done is we've allowed Lifetime to kind of put it out in the forefront and say, hey guys, this is what you've been ignoring for quite some time. This is something that you need to. And the issue that I have with it is that it came at a black man's expense. Because we all know in Hollywood, you know, this is something that's prominent. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there's a lot of crazy things going on in Hollywood. There's a lot of crazy things that's going on around the corner. But the fact of the matter is we need to figure out a way to deal with it. And I think how we deal with it is you said in reference to young boys. I watched the R. Kelly breakdown. I watched the segments or whatever case to be, and you notice if R. Kelly was a victim of molestation, you notice that there was nothing for molestation in reference to how to get help for boys. You know that the Me
Hmm.
Too movement is governed toward females. So now my question to you is: if I'm a male and I've been molested, where do I go to get help? Where do I go to get help? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my only concern, not that those women that were on there or the young girls that were on there, they didn't have vital, you know what I'm saying, something vital to say. They didn't have a story or testimony or just wanted to speak out against someone that did them wrong. My thing about it is, as a young black boy that's been touched, where do I go to get help? Where is my movement? Where are the people that's focused on me or whatever kiss me? And that's why I think it's so important because there was no hashtag you too in reference to you as a boy. If you need assistance, if you've been hurt or you've been molested, this is for you as well. So I feel like we need to address where do young boys get help and why is that not being promoted in reference to this is, you know what I'm saying, if this happened to you, you know, we're here to support you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, brother, but it's not enough men that coming out that's going to come out to the light and say, yes, I was molested, I was raped at a
Mm-hmm.
young age. And a lot of times, a lot of men, we internalize that as something good, as something positive. Oh, you know, we tell them, joking about boys like, damn, I mean, I wish I had a teacher like that. You know, I wish I had a teacher that touched me that way, or you know, could we start like fantasizing about women touching us, teachers touching us? We start fantasizing when we go into our adolescent stage. You know, we start fantasizing about women and when we going through our puberty stage, you know, and that's not really right. And then a lot of times, like a lot of older men, they end up trying to pimp a lot of the younger a lot of the younger brothers to have sex
Mm-hmm.
early, and it's perfectly normal to have sex with someone who's twice your age, you know.
Well, I mean, let's make this even more realistic. Realistically, the way our society is set up
Oh,
is
what's
that
going on, Kimberly?
we okay,
Oh no, I was just doing the shout out. Go on.
okay. Realistically, the way our society is set up is that we over sexualize everything. You see what I'm saying? The more like let's say for the women, you know what I'm saying? We have to say the more skin we show, the more sexier we are. You see what I'm saying? The in reference to the reality TV shows, in reference to um all of the things that well, not all the things, but a lot of the things that you see on social media, the more outlandish, the more crazier, the more wild, the more bold, the more courageous, that's sexy nowadays. So my thing about it is it's a lot of times when you say okay, well, as a child, this happened to me. Well, if we've already identified there's not a lot of fathers in the home. So now you have the mothers that's working either one or several jobs, who have been in broken relationships themselves, who had going to school or maybe taking care of several children that don't really have the time to say, well, what has happened to you today? Or know how to mentally handle your child that's been molested or whatever it can be, know how to handle that situation in a correct fashion. So to me, we have to stop giving ourselves so many distractions and we have to really get down to talking to our children and finding out what's going on with you, not only in the home, but in the school. When you're going out to your friend's home, we have to find some time to really sit down and have that conversation. And I think that's what we skipping and we missing out on. We don't have the hard conversations with our children.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, you got to try to interview as many people as possible. You're going to have your kids around, you know, whether, like I said, teachers, whether it's counselors, whether it's babysitters. You have to make sure daycare workers too, because a lot of instances go on when you're sending your kids to daycare, and a lot of the times the staff they're touching the boy, they're touching the girls as well.
That's a good point. Terrence says we are not allowed to speak out because we would be considered as gay or weak. You know what? That's a good point. Here's the thing, man. If you have any, let's say, alpha male kahunas or you know what I'm saying, about you, a lot of things that happen to us as men, we don't like to speak about it. You know, we are emotionally turned off to telling people our feelings or whatever case may be. And I can understand someone saying, you know what, I didn't say this person touched me because I would be embarrassed, you know, about what somebody would think or whatever case may be. And that's why I say it in reference to the movement for those young boys. Regardless if those people come out or not, there still should be something where, hey, I won't have to publicly come out, but here's a number to a hotline, an email, or someone you can reach out to talk about the situation. Here's a place where you can go where it's a confidentiality clause set in place where I don't need to tell the world that I was molested or et cetera, I was touched. I could just go there and get help. My issue is that the same premise that we stand on in reference to Me Too, somebody said Me Too, the Me Too movement is not for African American women. However, what we've done was we've initiated or we've circumvented not only having Caucasians with Me Too, we've also put now the Art Kelly story in reference to the Me Too together to merge it to make it bigger, if that's the case. But if you think about it, that Me Too movement does not address little boys who've been molested. And I think that's my concern because you have thousands of people watching this, and now their focus is, I need to make sure my daughter's safe. I need to make sure my girlfriend's safe. But the little boy that's there watching this, what does he get from it? He gets, I need to protect my sister. I need to make sure my mother is good. But what about me? Where do I go? And I think that's the biggest issue right now.
Yeah, like I said, you're right about that. You know what I'm saying? Not too many outlets that boys have to reach out. And, you know, like I said, we said we're gay, we speak out, but it actually makes you strong. You know, men that actually come forward, yeah, I was molested. Yeah, I was touched at a young age. I like to see that when men do say that because that's reality. You know, you can't, that's the issue as men too. We keep holding stuff in. And, that's how a lot of times we get suicidal or just want to harm people because we don't know how to let people know what we're going through, you know. So that's something that we
Miss
gotta just
Miss
focus on
Moore
as well.
said, um, Miss Moore said, have any of y'all been raped or molested? So let me share a little story with you guys so you can understand that. You know, I'm very passionate about this topic. I have siblings who have been molested and raped by a family member. My mother was also molested and raped. So when it comes to this topic, I'm very passionate about it, which is why I wanted to kind of jump on here with my brother and talk um, about little boys. Because the question is if it's someone near me, I try to make myself available to talk about those hard things or make myself approachable to talk about those things. And people do share a lot of intimate details about things that happen in their lives. But the thing about it, you got to think about the everyday. I think it was Chris who said, well, hey, when I share my story, you know what I'm saying, I may feel embarrassed or I may not want to share my story with, you know what I'm saying, the guys that surround me because they're going to joke on me. So that's what I'm saying, as society, as public citizen, we have to go and say, okay, well, where can we put these people or push these people to get assistance? And that's the problem. The problem is that we right now on your timeline, tell me who's promoting if you've been molested or you've been raped or et cetera, as a little boy, as a man, call this number. Here's the information. I just think it's almost like a get over it type situation, or keep it to yourself. So
Yeah,
can we make it comfortable? Can we make the conversation comfortable. Having the hard conversation, but make it comfortable. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out a game plan and saying, look, what I want to do is provide this information for this young man so that way he can actually know where he can get help at.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, put your pride, put your ego away. Try to get help. I mean, it's easier said than done because you're not conditioned to really pour into our emotions, tap into it. But I feel like a lot of times it could be a bigger awareness drawn if we would stop trying to romance glorify it, and took it more serious because it's what one out of 20 actually report that they've been raped or molested, and that's a lot. It's a lot more that have, but their pride and ego don't allow them to
Right.
report the people to the police. So it's a lot higher of black men and black boys getting abused daily. That it doesn't hit CNN, it doesn't hit Fox News. This
Right.
is a huge problem. And like I said, we got to stop romanticizing about it. Like, oh my God, I wish I had a teacher like that. Oh my gosh, I wish I was with a 35, 30, 40-year-old woman when I was that young. And also too,
Mm-hmm.
us watching pornography, watching explicit videos, young age, it
Mm-hmm.
gets our mindset triggered. That we just want to have sex, and
What
it's
is
just
it
not.
just pornography? Come on, bro. We having this hard conversation, right? Is it just pornography or is it in music general? Because a
Yeah,
lot of the
yeah,
music, if you think about it, whether it's R&B or hip hop or whatever it case be, the theme of it, the general theme is promoting some type of sexuality, being a baller, being a player, being a bad bitch. So you got to think about the type of atmosphere that we've been kind of staring and setting for the next generation. And then that generation comes, and then that generation says, "Oh, we got to one up you." We know y'all used to wear bell bottoms and afros, but now we gonna go to skinny leg jeans. So it's like every generation has to one up on the sexuality. So before you know it, now you're walking around half naked, and then you turn around and says, "Okay, well, I still want to be respected." Now, for those people that feel that way, cool, but that's when it goes into this the sexual molestation and people kind of looking at you funny and thinking it's okay. But I wanted to get back to something that Miss Morris said. She said that it's not just men. I don't think that's the right one. I want to make sure I read the right one. She basically, if I could paraphrase, she basically said just because you know someone that has been molested or raped, it's a different experience for the person that you know. In reference to, I know someone that's been molested or raped. It's not the same experience. And I can tell you sometimes the person that's closest to you that you share that information, they are just as traumatized as you. I want you to kind of research that or whatever. Let's say I'm your brother, right?
hmm
I'm your brother, and you tell me that, hey, I've been molested or I've been raped, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes that trauma, you know what I'm saying, the pictures, because that emotional experience is kind of transferred to you as well. So it can be just as dramatic. Um, but I would never count someone sharing a secret like that with someone else and thinking, well, that won't affect them. I think that's the wrong way of looking at things.
Yeah, like, you're right about that. That same thing with I don't know. You've seen the hate you give when you see the guy in the car, he gets shot, and she
Yeah.
becomes traumatized. It's not easy to speak out on. So like I said, the girl, she's traumatized about her best friend or boyfriend at the time, or ex-boyfriend, whatever it was called. He got shot, and
Yeah.
she didn't
Yeah.
know
I
whether
mean,
she wanted to be the speaker
you
or she kept it to herself. And everybody handles different situations.
right.
Same thing with them. You know.
You become like a secondary victim. It's almost like secondhand smoke. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to smoke the cigarette, but if you're around secondhand smoke, it can affect you. You understand what I'm saying? So being a victim of something, if you share that with someone, let's just say you're passionate and you're crying and you're emotional, whatever, that emotion and passion can weigh on another person. So it all depends on where you at mentally, and it all depends on, you know what I'm saying, what your outlets are. But what I really want to do is um I want to tackle something real quick in reference to, first of all, if someone has done something to violate you sexually, um, touch you inappropriate, you need to speak out about it. You know what I'm saying? That should never be uh, um, where you decide I'm not going to speak out because I'm going to be embarrassed or I'm going to be, you know, that's why I want to make it easy for people to find the courage to say, let me take the first step. So I really know that there are hotlines out there. There's a lot of information out there, whatever, to help victims, to provide counseling for victims, to provide locations for victims. But we need to understand that we need to make it easier. We need to start pumping some of that information. I think Chris said, hey, I'm gonna start sharing that information. And I think that's something that we all should do. I think this R. Kelly thing, I don't think it's a distraction. I think it's a reaction to a situation that's been going on in the dark for a long time. And now that Lifetime has picked it up and kind of put it in our face. I guess I'm just concerned that now it's a black man when we know that it's been several people, you know, that have been of the Caucasian nature that have been sleeping with young girls, and it hasn't been like the Weinstein. Is Harry Weinstein? Is that his name?
Yeah, yeah,
I,
Weinstein. Then
so why is it
you got Charlie Sheen. Who else
right?
you got?
Yeah. So I mean, with all that being said, those things are not being publicized right now. Everybody's not being thrown in the same pot. And right now, we're talking about R. Kelly, and I'm gonna be honest with you. People like John Legend, people like Charlemagne the God, like a lot of these people who know what's going on, especially in the entertainment industry, because those types of things, you don't think those bouncers are talking to other bouncers, those assistants
Hmm.
are talking to other assistants. So people knew about this. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think that I'm not allowing the R. Kelly thing to be a distraction. But I do understand that it's a reaction to a problem that's been ongoing. And based on that reaction, I need to make sure that the women around me understand that if something happens to you, let me know. If you're going through something, let me know so that way I can assist.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Like I said, but I just don't like the fact that, it was, a black woman that we keep trying to rape and try to molest because you already know that was a white girl. He would already been locked up. But it felt like when it comes down to like black women, it's like we
Mm-hmm.
don't really have that same kind of empathy as opposed to a white woman. He would have been locked up. And also don't like the fact that we keep trying to compare different people to different people. Like, oh well, Harvey Weinstein, his offense is worse than R. Kelly or Charlie Sheen, etc. We try to justify it, saying white men they do a lot better and they really get away with it. I mean, that should be unacceptable either way, and we shouldn't have to keep trying to justify it at the same time.
Well, let's do this. Since we
Yeah.
having this honest conversation, let's do this. Molestation is molestation. If you decide that you want to, you first of all, statutory rape, molestation, any type of violation of someone else's rights, especially a child right, is no question. I don't care if you black, white, I don't care if you rich, you poor.
Hello, you froze. Hello, you there?
I'm here. Did I go out?
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. What was you saying?
I went
You
out
talking
for a
about
minute.
like I don't care if you're black, white.
So
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I mean that's what it boils down to. I think we get caught up in oh, well, he was black and he was white, like you said. It's like no, if you decide that you want to go out there and you want to touch kids, you want to molest people, you want to rape people, and you should be held to the highest extent of the law. And I think that we give leeway. We give leeway. I mean, R. Kelly had 21 charges for child pornography, and some type of way was able to settle out of court. No, why are we giving them that option? Why are the parents say, let me take this payoff? And see, the problem is that well, you got to think about it because a lot of these women, I want to say 100%. Okay, I want to say 100% of these women that came forward were African American women. A lot of the parents of these young girls were African American people. So my thing about it is, why are we taking the payoff? That's the real question. Why are we taking the payoff? Why are we saying, you know what, I'll take 50,000, I'll take 100,000, but I don't go to court. No, no. Let everybody know. I'm not taking the payoff. I'm gonna go to court. I'm gonna get you prosecuted or whatever case may be. And it is what it is. But we took the payoff. We said that our child's sanity, our child's virginity, our child's peace was worth 100,000. That's what it says at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then the fact that his music sales going up, he's making some more money off this special is really really traumatizing myself. And then also a lot of women are also out here celebrating him, promoting him like he's doing
Mm-hmm.
like he's a hero or something. I don't really agree with that when you have an issue that you have that you need to
I,
solve and come
you
forward.
know what I think the problem is, big bro. You know what I think the problem is. The big problem is that sometimes when you look at people who've been victimized, like I come out and publicly and I say I've been victimized. You know what happens when I say you did this? I accuse you of doing something. The fingers that I'm pointing at you, these fingers are pointing at me. Now, when I say fingers pointing at me, that means as soon as I come out and I say this person done X, Y, and Z to me, people go to my social media page. People try to figure out who I am as a person and whether they can take what I'm saying realistically or not. You know what I'm saying? What happens is, let's say that you were very promiscuous. R. Kelly came around and friends of yours would say, yeah, she's like a groupie. Then being a groupie, being promiscuous or whatever, would someone believe that R. Kelly had to rape you? No. What's happening is a lot of these women are being questioned in that manner. 30-year-old women. There were two 30-year-old women that messed with R. Kelly. Um, well, of course, the one that he married, but the other two, the disc jockey, and I think whatever the other one was. 30-year-old women that decided I'm going to be with R. Kelly. Now, understand this: you are 25 years and older. You telling me that you never knew anything about him marrying Aaliyah, anything about a 21 counts of pornography, anything about him peeing in a young female's mouth, or whatever the case. You're telling me as an adult, as a responsible adult paying her own bills, got her nails done, hair done, everything done. You telling me in this age and time you didn't know who about R. Kelly, but you was willing to risk it. And my issue is when you're willing to roll the dice and say, I want to jump on that gravy train. I want to see where this thing is going to take me. And then when it doesn't end the way you want it to end, now it's time for my book. Now it's time for my book. You see what I'm saying? Now it's time. And that's why I said I made a post the other day. I don't know if you saw it, but I said everybody, I said we talking about it, but everybody that's involved in the R. Kelly scandal or the shenanigans, they're making money. They getting
Hmm.
checks cut. They're getting checks cut. And my only issue is that's what I'm saying is I don't think the women that came forward on R. Kelly, not lacking credibility, not saying that they're lying. I think that the way society has perceived them based on social media and how they've maneuvered since then, I think that their credibility, instead of being through the roof, I think that their credibility only maxed out a certain way. Because at some point in time, someone said you knew better. You knew better. You got young girls skipping school to go stand in line to wait for a man's trial. Why are you not in school? Where are your parents? You know what I'm saying? Why is R. Kelly able to come to this high school and stand outside the school and no adult say, hey man, why you keep coming to school? You see what I'm saying? We're not asking a question and we're not holding the right people responsible. Talk to me, bro.
Blue right there. Anyway, she said it's deeper than Muslim.
Reading Kimberly.
Yeah, yeah, that's my baby right there. Anyway,
Okay.
it's deeper than molestation with R. Kelly. That monster mentally, emotionally, and physically abused the females he detected and made them eat it. He urinated on them. He had them penetrated him. He starved them, etc. But I mean, my response to that is, why am I not banging down doors? Why am I not trying to seek help? Like, damn, I need to get out of the situation. You know, like this man is corrupt. He's done all these bad things, and I need a way out. I don't need to be around this situation. I know this man's track record. I know it's easier said than done, but even as the parents, you don't need to put your child in that situation. And people that are flying the girls in and out, they got to
Mhm.
hold them responsible as well.
I
Everybody
think
play their own part.
you're exactly right. I think right now, I know the sympathetic person inside us, the humane person inside us want to say these people are victims. And regardless of what they say in reference to them being victims, we only need to blame the accuser. My thing about it as a man that's over 30 years old, regardless of what has happened to me as a child, I'm going to be held responsible legally and morally based on what it is that I do. I can't say that, you know what, when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of food in the house or whatever, so I got a problem with stealing. You know, so I go to Walmart and I rack up on all the toothbrushes and the candy bars or whatever. And then I go to court and I say, well, you know, when I was, 10 years old, this happened. My thing about it is that these young girls, the 11, 12, 13-year old or whatever case be, I get it. Older guy, definitely can be manipulated into a certain situation, and I get that and understand that. But my sympathy for the older women, 25 and above, I have a caution. You know what I'm saying? I have an empathy for the situation. I'm sorry that happened to you, but my next question is, but you didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't know better. My thing about, as a grown woman, am I gonna fly you out to my home, start like within the first 2 weeks starving you and telling you you can't leave your room? I don't know any women that would do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any women that would stay, other than women that say, hey, well, whatever you tell me I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do. And to me, that goes along with that groupie train versus I'm so in love, and maybe that's the case too. But when do you lose sense of self? Is it overnight? Is it overnight? I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah, you're right about that. And Marlon said, sad part is a lot of black folks that are supporting him is because they feel he has a lot of money. And this was a regular person, they would have been more critical of the individual. Yeah, I do agree. I do
Mm.
feel like his fame, his money, it does play a part in the situation. So, are you there? Oh, where are you at? But yeah, though, I mean, I don't really feel like no grown man need to be pursuing younger women, even when they're of age 18, 19. I think they're still too young for an older man that's 35, 40 years old to try to pursue. Too young to keep trying to uh, go after a woman. You know, a lady or especially young girls that don't need to be out. You know, going after those type of men. And men need to do better and have better self control, self discipline, etc. You know, we can't keep blaming the kids. You know, and talking about, oh, the woman, oh, she too fast, etc. You know, like we got to take responsibility as men and as women to make sure that our children are safe regardless of the situation and not put them in difficult situations. You know, it's one thing. Like I said, we got to work on, just protect our children, protect our women, etc. You know, it's our job to make sure everybody is safe and secure. And you know, okay, you said I'm having an issue. He going in and out. Shit, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with Mario. You there? You there, bro? Yeah, like I said, protect the kids. And then as far as what women, as far as young ladies is, I'm tired of grown men keep talking about, oh, what is she wearing? You know, that's why she got raped. And it's like always some kind of excuse for the black woman. You know, oh, she was out too late. Oh, she was intoxicated. There's too many reasons, too many passes we give to. Oh no, you good, bro. You good, bro. Can you get back in? I'm trying. Yeah, what I was about to say is like we give too much of a pass. You there?
My apologies, man. This Wi-Fi in this hospital sucks. My
Yeah,
apologies.
you good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So
I go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying about what when we talk about a young girl, it's talking about they're too fast. But I don't feel like grown men need to be going out to no children, especially underage, even 18, 19 maybe, but that's still too young for trying to date somebody. But like I said, they're legally of age, so I don't have too much of an issue with that. But nobody under 18, grown men should be following. even though that is like what a lot of women uh, have go after, a lot of older men. I still don't feel like it's acceptable for men to try to go after them kind of women and stuff like that, and mess with their emotions and stuff at an early age.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point. Grown men and grown women should be responsible. Um,
Yeah, you're right.
some sometimes for some reason we give leeway to nonsense. We give a pass to bullshit. And I think that we as bystanders, we as good citizens, we as role models, we as friends and family members, we need to start addressing certain issues. Like when we see things that's wrong, we have this policy, especially growing up, that's been broadcast, the no snitch policy. And I'm not saying you necessarily need to snitch, but you do need to address concerns. And I think that that's a problem with society today. We see things and we don't say anything about it, which leads to kids being able to skip school and go jump in some grown man's car and drive off. And then parents not checking on their kids to make sure that they're in school. So there is a systematic failure. There's a chain of responsibility that is definitely being altered from time to time. So we just need to make sure that the people in our inner circle are we're good stewards. We're doing what it is that we need to do to support people in our circle. Talk to them, find out how the day going, find out if there's anything going on in reference to their life, and then watch their mood swings, what they're posting, what they're saying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just think we need to be more cognizant on how to support and provide more self-awareness. That right there within itself is a different, even a live segment right there. Self-awareness. And I think that we don't exercise self-awareness, man. We exercise self-awareness to the point where if it's a club thing, yes, but we don't exercise self awareness in reference to, um, thank you, in reference to, you can actually put it right here. That's fine. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. In reference to self awareness, we exercise self awareness when it comes to a club thing, but we don't exercise self awareness when it comes to actually, what's going on immediately around me that could be harmful, that can be, what I'm saying, that shouldn't be tolerated. So we as adults, we need to make the hard calls, man. We need to say, no, that's bullshit. I'm gonna address that, and if I have to, I'll address that with the proper authorities.
Yeah, I feel you. Quit trying to sweep everything underneath the rug and just walking past it because you're just as guilty as the person who's doing it. If you know what's going on and you're not reporting it to nobody, no official, no police, then you're just as guilty, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, though, like I said, we talked a lot about the young boys, but let's talk about the young ladies, as far as them being raped and being molested.
Uh, Man, that is something definitely near and dear to my heart. Because I'm a young man with daughters, so um, that's something that every male, that's something that you really don't want to imagine, what I'm saying, or think about. Well, I mean, automatically as fathers, you're protective. As brothers, you're protective. As boyfriends, you're protective. As friends, male friends, you're protective. But, I think that women um have to exercise a different type of strength when they go through something like that. And what I mean by that is, that's for some people, it's a long road to recovery, and some people never recover. Some people never recover. So I can only say, ladies, be mindful of the people that you're dating. Be mindful when you go out. Just take into consideration the people that surround you, the type of men that surround you. When you go out to different outings and you're going out on these dates or whatever case to be, you're on social media. Be mindful of the people that you bring around your children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. So just be mindful of the things that you have going on in your life. So I mean, what do you think, bro?
Well, I mean, I feel like you got to be cautious of who you surround yourself with, and like I said, just be aware, and we gotta, you know, do a better job as far as if you're trying to put yourself out there on
Mm-hmm.
social media with your private parts hanging out. I mean, that's not good. I mean, as far as that does lure men onto you, I'm not saying I justify it, but that's how a lot of men take it. But we just have to do a better job with protecting our women and quit talking about, oh, she's too fast or she's too easy because she what she wearing. You know, she deserved to get raped because what she was wearing. You know, we don't really have too much sympathy for about her when she talked about, oh, she being raped, she's going through her drama. We like to sweep it underneath the rug, you know, instead of just coming up front and saying, "Oh, damn, that man was messed up," especially a black woman, because it's easy for a white woman to accuse a man that's been messing up. You know, look at the whole Kareem Hunt situation, the whole situation going on in the NFL with Ezekiel Elliott. You know, so so many
Mm-hmm.
examples that white women they'll come up and next thing you know he's gone within the blink of an eye. But as far as the black women, we don't have the same kind of empathy towards them, and they're our sister, they're our you know,
I,
mothers or
I,
daughters or you said what now?
well, I mean, I want you to finish your thought process though.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have that same type of level of protection as far as obviously women that's not in our family immediate circle, like a sister, an aunt, a mother, a grandmother. We don't have that
Mhm.
same kind of awareness with someone else's daughter or someone else's grandmother or someone else's aunt. Like we don't have that same kind of compassion, even though we're all in unit as one. You know, so we gotta do a better job as far as having more empathy towards them, more sympathy for what's going on in their life, because it could easily be one of our family members. Because I had a guy, Coach Rod, he was talking about his sister had got killed domestic violence, and it's like it hit home for him. So, it could be anybody. So we just got to be mindful about the situation that we put ourselves in as men and
You,
just do a better
you,
job leading it.
you, you hit the nail on the head when you said it can be anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it can be anybody. So with that being said, it could be anybody. You could be molested, raped, disrespected, neglected, abused, whatever word you want to fill in the blank with. It could happen to you. It could happen to somebody you know. Will you be prepared for it? How do you prepare for it? All of those are great questions. But at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself something. Am I in a position to help somebody? Am I in a position to help myself? See what I'm saying? We don't think about, well, if a friend comes to me and says I was molested, what would I do? We don't think like that. Our brains are not wired to think how to be good stewards to someone else. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us are just reactive. You know what I'm saying? The first thing is like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do something aggressive. If I hear someone did something to you, I'm gonna go hurt them. I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z. Or maybe I'm gonna shy away from the situation. So I think we need to become good stewards on how to be better helpers, how to be more aware. They say knowledge is power. So my thing about it is, do we know how to combat bullshit? If you say you've been molested, do I have the information to help you out? Do I have the courage to help you out? Do I have the patience to help you out? So, with those being said, it's like whether you are a little girl or a little boy or just someone of a certain age that you've been violated by some type of way, the question is, do you have the resources needed to get assistance? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we need to arm ourselves with. We used to call that in the military when I was in, something to put in your toolbox. And that's just something where you can hold like, a card in your wallet or a card in your purse where if there's an issue, I know who to call. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like the Me Too movement, if some people feel like, well, it's just only for Caucasian women and they just tailored it a little bit to be for black women. One thing about it is there a us movement? You know what I'm saying? Is there a little black children movement? You know what I'm saying? Is there something to say we are concerned about what's happening with our children? We will protect them to the fullest extent. We will prosecute you to the fullest extent. We're not going to settle out of court. We don't care who you are or how much money you pay. The thing about it is we have to have pride within our communities. And if we don't have those prides, the people with money going to feel they can come down and do what they want to our children and pay us off. Stop me when I lied. Stop me
Yeah,
when I
you're right
lied.
about that. Yeah, you're right about that. And Ania Collier said people look at you and change the subject. And that's just like when the police start shooting our black men and black women. They always want to be like, oh, what did he have on? What kind of drug was he on? They want to change the subject instead of getting
Mhm.
to the root of the issue. And we do a poor job of coming to the root of what you laughing about.
No, 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 no. It's I didn't want to cut you off, but see, the victim is never the victim.
Yeah, yeah,
The victim, you identify, you like a person says something happened to me, and it's like before you say you didn't deserve that, before you take the time and say, you know what, that should have never happened to you, and I want to help you. You say, but what would you do? Now, in some cases, it's good to get the entire picture. You see what I'm saying? It's good to get the entire picture so that way you know how to maneuver. But that's why people are so afraid to come out and tell their story, because a lot of people feel like, well, maybe it's that woman that was wearing that tight dress, and someone said, well, you should have been wearing that tight dress. She doesn't want to go through that agony. She doesn't want to go through that stress. She really wants to just say, hey, that shouldn't have happened to you, and these are the things that can to help you gear you back to being better. But we sometimes we victimize the victim, if that makes sense. And I don't think
yeah,
that's right. I don't think that's
yeah.
right.
You're right about. Yeah, you're right about that. We don't tend to really be like, damn, that was unacceptable. I don't care what she was wearing. I don't care what time of the night. We just want to
Right,
keep putting the
right,
blame on as far as the victim,
right.
like, oh, he shouldn't have been there. Oh, she shouldn't have been there. Mostly women though. I see a lot of men saying, oh, if she wasn't wearing that, or she didn't go out that late, or she wasn't with her friends, she wasn't at that party, she wasn't at that event, then that wouldn't happen. Instead of being like, on my watch, no black woman, no man is going to be disrespected or treated poorly, on my watch, So instead of us looking at it as, oh, we're going to protect our black women, black men, we're looking at the
Mhm.
fact that, oh, well, you shouldn't have been there. You should have done this something else, and it's not
You,
fair for the victim.
you,
And
I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't. I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. The
okay,
last statement.
all right,
Sometimes you know better. Let's say I'm not from a certain neighborhood or whatever case it be. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I decide I'm gonna go walking down this neighborhood. Now, reality says, say it's a bad neighborhood, and I know for a fact it's a bad neighborhood. It's all over the news, et cetera, right? And I say, well, I'm a citizen. I pay my taxes. I want to go through this neighborhood. I'm out for a stroll, and my little ass gets beat up, raped, robbed, whatever. Do somebody have the right to say you should have knew better? Tell me what. Work with me, brother. Work with me. Stay with me. Stay with me.
yeah.
Do you have the right to say I should have knew better as the victim? I want to see what you're gonna say.
I mean, I can't really blame. I mean, I can't blame the situation and the surroundings. I mean, it could play a part, but I can't really put the blame on your circumstance because that can happen anywhere.
But see, this is what I'm saying. Me personally,
Yeah,
right? If it's been advertised, that's like when you hear Compton. You know what I'm saying? You hear Inglewood. You hear these certain neighborhoods, right? You hear bad things about it. My thing about it is for you to think that this can't happen to you. You can't get robbed. You can't get, you know what I'm saying, X, Y, and Z. My thing about it is you got to be mindful of the situations that you put yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Because of the the credibility of the victim is going to decrease or increase based on what you've done personally, if that makes sense. If I personally put myself in a situation where I could be hurt or I could be robbed or someone can take advantage of me, then my credibility as a victim decreases. But if it's no fault of my own, that means I'm laying in my home, I'm laying down, somebody breaks in and they decide to rape me. They decide to rob me. They decide to kill me. That's no fault of my own because I lock my doors. You know what I'm saying? I turned on the security alarm and they got in and they did something. So I think based on the credibility of the victim is whether you increase or decrease whether you believe them or not, or whether you blame them or not. Hopefully I explained that right.
yeah, yeah. I feel you on that. But like you was talking about the whole social media, when stuff happens like that, as far as especially with the police shootings, they be like trying to track your social media, what you said back in
Mm-hmm.
2012,
Mm-hmm.
2011. So that's also right there credibility as well that you kind of fail to realize. You think about it because a lot of people they can if they want to bring dirt, they can bring stuff 10, 15 years ago. You think about it. So, um, you saying, like, oh, if I was in my house sleeping on a mattress and something happened, then okay, it'd be more believable. But even in that circumstance, they still could be like, oh well, we pulled something up in 2012. You was saying this and you were saying that, and you know how the media does, especially we
Yeah,
talk about police shootings and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
They try to justify it though, some kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a level of justification. It's always going to be a level of victimizing the victim. But you got to hold steadfast to your truth. And I just hope that if there's anybody out there that have going through a situation where they've been victimized or they've been molested or they've been abused, to speak out. To speak out and get help, and hopefully the people that's around them, hopefully they see this or whatever, and they're inspired, encouraged um, to get help, to get some type of psychological help, to be able to talk to somebody or whatever, because that's a hell of a thing to hold within, because um, that's going to alter the relationships you have not only with yourself personally, but the relationships you have both professionally and personally. So I'm hoping that that we encourage people to speak out. That when someone's telling their stories, that we be good stewards and realize that one, it took courage for them to speak out. Two, try to be a little less cynical or critical about what they're saying, and just take in the story. Sometimes people don't let you just take in the entire story before they have something to say. Sometimes you just gotta listen.
Yeah. Okay. Kimberly said, "I can't let fear stop me from moving freely in a neighborhood." Yeah, like I said, I do agree with that. I mean, like I said, you should be able to go to point A to point B with no worries, no hesitation. But reality is, sometimes some different type of neighborhoods stuff do happen. But you got to do the best is best for yourself, your situation. But like I said, there should be no, we shouldn't have no kind of fear about, oh, well, I go to this party, if I go to this type of neighborhood that I know I might not come back, I might get molested, I might get raped, I might get killed, I might get shot. But that's anywhere you go though, so there's still
I,
no.
I, I
Is
think I
it?
think I think you let's not confuse anywhere you go with things that that are harmful for you. Things that that if I go here, it's a very high percentage of ass whooping. It's a very high percentage of something popping off. And my thing about it is don't get confused with things that can happen anywhere with things that that happen at that particular location. If I know for a fact people are dying at this Walmart, but you're saying I like Walmart, I love those rollback prices, and I decided to go try to get me some rollback prices because I got money. If you know something is happening and you deliberately put yourself in a situation, you got to sometimes you got to check, checks. It's all about checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? But I understand it can happen anywhere. It can happen in a hospital room. I got it. I understand. I got
Yeah.
you.
And Nina said, look at a dude that was shot in his apartment. That guy, and had a white cop that shot him. Yeah, that's true.
In Dallas?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, there is no cookie cutter to all situations. But like I said, I just feel like overall, as far as getting back onto the topic, I feel like we need to protect our black children and make sure that they're safe in every way possible. Make sure that they have a support system. Make sure they have a team. Make sure they have good guardians, good parents, and also like as far as a lot of men missing inside the home. Um, we need more stepfathers, need more mentors, need more guidance counselors to for them to talk to guide to lead them because a lot of these happening is what is not it's not within a father's reach or it's not on his watch. Not to say that situation don't happen with the father because a lot of times the fathers do be doing stuff to kids as well. I'm just talking about a protective father. There's not too many out there that's out there just protecting the kids and the women as well.
Before I go, so here's my thing, man. Let's be good stewards. Let's keep that self-awareness to a high level, and make sure that we're there to support people and make sure that we don't victimize the victims. As well as, just continuing to encourage people, what I'm saying, to come out and tell their story and to get help or whatever case may be. So again, I appreciate you for being on, man. Time to get back to the daddy duties. But until next time, man, you know what I'm saying? Be blessed, me bro.
All right, man. Respect, respect. Good luck with you and your family, man. God bless you, man.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah, though, like I said, we gotta, in closing, we gotta make sure we protect our kids and our black women, especially protect our black women, make sure that they feel safe, secure wherever they're at, and make sure we have a call in, make sure they're so you have a support team that they can comfortably talk to. So we need some more. We need some more. We need some more men and women to protect our kids, and everybody around you is not your friend. It's not, they don't have your best interests, and you have to take everybody to consideration for whoever they're around. You know, you can't trust everybody. Not everybody's good people. People in your family member, they may be corrupt. People on the outside may not have your best interests. But like I said, you have to know, put the right people around them, and make sure we don't have no kind of disagreement, no kind of safety. You know, it's all about safety. At the end of the day, let's make sure that our kids, our guardians, nephew, nieces are protected, and as well as our black women as well and black men as well. So just make sure we all family. And like I said, y'all go out, y'all support Mario, subscribe to the YouTube channel. He's doing big things up there. Go to his Instagram page. And check me out on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. Everybody, y'all have a great night. Everybody, thank you for watching, tuning in. Until next time, I'm out.